Hi guys, and welcome to another Nature Diaries. This time we're teaming up with a bit of van life and we're on the look for dolphins and seals up in Scotland. So we're heading around the Moray Firth, so please follow along. So we've just had a walk down to North Keswick Community Pier, which is just down from where the centre used to be. In keeping with the road trip so far, it's pissing it down, so we just got in a little bus shelter. But we've already seen some information about how to behave around cetaceans, so that's a positive thing. And when the shower passes, I'll just give you a quick overview of where we are and some of the cetaceans you can spot here. So you can see behind the Moray Firth. We're in quite an industrial area, so we're not too far from the North Keswick Bridge, which you can see in the background there. There's lots of developments in the background. Cetaceans do pull up here quite a lot. Just depends if the times are right. So again, because of the weather, we are going to hang out a little bit, but we're not going to stay too long, and we'll head on to Spey Bay and some other places as well. So again, it's going to be a bit of a Nature Diaries cross with van life, and we'll see what we can see. So on this occasion I think the rain's got the best of us, so we're going to head up back to the van. But in this particular spot it's good for bottlenose dolphins all year, harbour porpoise all year. You even get common seals pupping along this stretch. And you might even see kites and ospreys. We saw a kite a minute ago on the road. But yeah, just to put it into perspective where we are, we're just over the Keswick Bridge, so on the other side of the water is Inverness. Not too far from Inverness football ground. But we're going to go up to the van and then we're going to go to our next point. Well guys, we've arrived at Spey Bay and we're at the Scottish Dolphin Centre. So come with me and I'll show you what's inside. So we've just been on Spey Bay for a few minutes and Laura's got the camera there, and we've already got a common seal. Now despite its name, these seals are not that common anymore, and populations have declined by about 50% in just 20 odd years since the year 2000, which is massive. So the common seal population in the UK now is less than 40,000, and that's about a quarter of the population of the grey seals. So in this area, thankfully there's still lots of common seals, but where I'm from down in Devon, they're few and far between. Now the Spey Bay is at the mouth of the River Spey, which is behind me there, and the River Spey travels for about 170 kilometres from the Loch Spey right down to Spey Bay itself. Now this is the second longest river in Scotland and the 8th longest in the UK. But actually something quite cool about this river is that it's the fastest river in Scotland. So because of this, lots of nutrients come out of the end of it. This river is also really important for salmon fisheries, so there's an abundance of salmon in here, and I'll talk to you about that later on. So at the mouth of the river is like ideal for marine mammals, so that's what we're on the lookout for today. So I said about the salmon before, and they used to catch huge salmon here, and way before refrigerators they would use this building behind me, which is an ice house, so they'd pack it with ice, some of it natural ice, just to keep all the salmon really fresh for market really. But these salmon used to be huge, and now there's still salmon in the river, but they're nowhere near in abundance or to the size as what they used to be. And again, it's just another classic example of when we overfish a species. Well guys, what a treat that was. We've just got some bottlenose dolphins. Again, Laura's down there. She managed to get a bit of footage. And this is our second stop, so this isn't even our hot spot. We'll be heading to our hot spot in a few days where we'll get some really good close-ups. But it's amazing here at Spey Bay. We've seen terns, various duck species, and we've just had a cup of coffee in the centre, and a guy told us the dolphins were outside, so we come back out. But in a minute we're going to have a walk down the River Spey and see if we can find any ospreys. Fingers crossed. Well, we've just been in the whale and dolphin conservation education centre. It's really good. There's lots of stuff in there about acoustic monitoring, species ID, also a clear message about not visiting cetaceans in captivity, and also some cool education about how you should behave around cetaceans on the water. We also did a good video about that too, so we'll drop a link here. The charity itself is a British charity, and it's formed towards the end of the 80s, and I want to say, but please correct me if I'm wrong, it was actually a 16-year-old lad what set it up, which just shows you're never too young to make a significant difference. But we're going to head down the river now, or is it up the river? Up the river. Inland, let's just say inland, up the river, and see if we can see some ospreys. This really is a beautiful river, and we'll put some footage in, but there's a list of species that have been spotted in the centre, and it includes otters, pine martins, and of course ospreys too. That's a bit late in the day to see the pine martins and otters, but we are really hoping to get these ospreys. We had a little walk down the river, and unfortunately we didn't see the osprey, but we're only staying down the road, so perhaps we'll have another look. But we did see ospreys in Wales last year, so I'll put a little link to that video here or somewhere on this page, and you can go and enjoy the beautiful birds. But I'm just going to leave you with one last thing. The River Spey plays an important part in the whisky industry. So the place where we are is a place called Moray, and Moray's really famous for its malt whiskey. Now, I don't normally drink whiskey myself, but you know what they say when you're in Rome and all that. So I'm going to sign out for today, and there'll be more dolphins coming your way very soon. So see you soon. It's a new day, and we're back out looking for more marine mammals, and we're over at West Lossiemouth Beach, and we've just come across quite a few common seals. We tried to get some footage. It might be a bit shaky because the wind's incredible, hence me being back in the van, but enjoy these beauties. Hi guys, we've got out the van today on our quest to find as many seals and dolphins as possible. And in shot behind me, Laura's got some common seals. So again, this area is quite thick with common seals. There's lots in the water, but there's also many all out. Hello Laura, whee! There she is. Again, common seals, you can tell the difference quite easily. First of all, common seals are much smaller, get up to about 100 kilos, where grey seals, females can get to around 200 kilos and the males can get up to 300 kilos. But the thing you want to look out for really is their face. The grey seals generally have a slope from their forehead down to their nose, where common seals are a bit more dog-like. They have a distinct muzzle so you can follow it down and around their nose. Also, grey seals do it too, but it's far more common in the common seals. You'll see them like hauled out on sandbanks, but in a distinctive banana shape. So they'll lay down, keeping their feet and their heads off the ground. But yeah, there's lots here, so it's another one to see. And we're not even at the prime dolphin spot yet, but we'll head there this afternoon and tomorrow as well. But we've already had bottlenose dolphins, we've already had common seals, and in Skye the other day we also had some common dolphins as well. And if you want to see them, we'll just pop the link to the video here. Okay, see you soon guys. Just walking back to the van and seeing a little ringed plover flying around, which made me just think, oh, I need to watch where I'm walking, because they nest just on open scrubs of ground where there's lots of pebbles, and their eggs are so camouflaged that you could easily stand on them. So if you do see a ringed plover and you are on a beach with lots of pebbles, just be careful. And I'll just show you the ground now, and if there is eggs here, you know, they're so camouflaged that you just have to be really careful. It's worth pointing out that we're in a different area to where we saw the bird. Obviously we gave it a wide berth, as we should with all nature. So we're still at Findor Bay, I think I've said that right. But when we were looking through the camera, I thought I could just see common seals, but Laura said there might be some greys in there as well. So we're going to check the camera footage with our zoom, so we might have had two species of seal here, which would be fantastic. Incidentally, now this area has been designated a seal haul-out area, where there's lots of educational displays essentially saying if you approach seals and disturb them, you could be breaking the law and you could get 6 months in prison or a £5,000 fine. So it's great that protection of seals seems to be quite strong and robust in this area especially.
We've now arrived at Chanonry Point. Now, this particular spot is kind of globally famous for bottlenose dolphin sightings, because the water here is so deep that these huge 4-metre long bottlenose dolphins can actually swim really close to the beach, and they fill up on salmon. That's why they get so big. So we've come here with the camera, and it's nearing 5 PM, and apparently an hour after low tide, I think someone said, was a really good time to see them. So we're hoping that they will arrive imminently and we will be graced with their gorgeous presence, swimming around, eating salmon and giving us a good show.
So we've just been to Chanonry Point to see the bottlenose, and it did not disappoint. There's at least 8, all within 20 metres away probably. So in this area, in the Moray Firth, where we've been searching the last few days, it's thought that these dolphins contributed about 11 million a year to the economy. So it just shows how good wildlife can be. And, you know, it does pay to protect it. We also saw a grey seal and a common seal as well. And these are the world's biggest bottlenose dolphins. And we've got some epic footage. I feel like I should just explain when I say they're the largest bottlenose in the world. So normally bottlenose get to around 2.6 to 3 metres ish. Here they can get over 4 metres. They are the most northernly resident pod of bottlenose, because we're quite north up in Scotland. Obviously the water's colder, so having that big body and the big blubber really helps the species. But also up here it's quite thick and rich with fish, and where in much of the range they might be taking on herring, and mackerel, which they still consume in these waters. They also take some of the larger fish, the big mullets, the big salmon and so on in the Moray Firth. So it's an oil-rich diet, but also it helps them with the cold water, and that's why they're so big. Back at Chanonry Point, we got loads of epic footage last night, but we're being a bit greedy because we've come back to see if we can see any acrobatics from the dolphins. If we find any, I'll insert the footage just after this, but apart from that, I hope you've enjoyed this video, a little dolphin and seal tour around Moray Firth. Do get up here, it's a great place to see wildlife for free, so it'll be interesting to see how you get on. And give us a thumbs up if you've liked this video and found it useful. And until next time, Laura